Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share how you can make fresh, healthy, and delicious homemade baby food right from your kitchen. I decided I wanted to make baby food for my son because I wanted to know exactly what ingredients were going into his meals. It's also budget friendly. It's super easy to customize to his taste preferences once I learned, what he likes. And then of course, homemade baby food is just fresher. It's free from preservatives. It's full of nutrients that a growing child needs. Plus, it's fun to make and you can mix and match flavors as your baby's palate grows. The foods that I decided to start my son out on are strawberries, sweet potato, avocado, and banana. In this video, I'll show you step by step on how to turn these simple fruits and veggies into tasty, nutritious meals for your little one. Let's get started. Before we start preparing the food, I want to show y'all some of the items I picked up just to make this process a little easier. So these little baby feeders are so helpful if you want to start your little one out on food without the risk of choking, and it just takes some of that anxiety away when you're first starting out. And you can just put in any fruit or veggie that you want. Next, I picked up these glass jar containers, and I wanted to do glass because I know that they'll be more durable and long lasting, and I won't have to worry about them staining and all the things. Also, just feel like they're cleaner, more sterile for long-term use. These will be used mainly for storing just any leftover food that I have after making the purees. Next thing I got were these baby silicone spoons. They came in a 3-pack and I love them because the handle just looks really easy for an infant to hold on to. Also, silicone is just great because it's non-toxic, hypoallergenic, and durable. I also got the matching bowls to go with the spoons, and I love these because they have the suction at the bottom, so you can suction them to your baby's high chair table and you don't have to worry about them knocking over the food on the floor. These also came in a 3-pack and I love the colors as well. The next thing I picked up was this baby food maker by the brand Boar. I love this one because it's multi-function. It steams and it purees, so you only have to worry about getting one machine instead of having to pick up 2 separate appliances. And so far I've been loving it. It's been doing a wonderful job at helping me prepare nice and smooth purees for my son. Next, I got this cashmere baby base. What it is basically a high chair, and you can attach it on to like a regular chair, but I've just been sitting it on top of my counter when I feed him. And then you can just use it as a regular seat, or you can click in the little tables, which then makes it a high chair. It also has a little place to put a bottle or a sippy cup if you want, and it's just really nice and comfy for my son. The first food I tried my son out on was the banana. I actually did not puree it, but I just mashed it up with a fork and I put it in this baby food feeder. And as you can see, he really was enjoying it. I love watching him eat. It was just so fun just to see him experiencing food for the first time. Again, I love these baby feeders because they are really mess free. Of course, once the baby gets older and they get their motor skills, they can hold it themselves, which my son is currently doing now. But in the beginning, it's fun because you can just, feed it to them, and it's like a little activity for you both. Alright, now let's get into making these purees. So the first one that I started my son out on was avocado puree. I love avocados because they're nutrient-dense superfood. They're packed with healthy fats, which are crucial for your baby's brain development. First, I cut the avocado in half and I just removed the pit. And then after I removed the pit, I went ahead and I scooped the avocado into the baby food maker. And I kind of cut it up a little bit just to make the scooping easier. So that's just a tip. That's the easiest way to get avocado out, is just to kind of do little cuts. And it just makes it easier for you to remove it from the skin. Next, what I needed to do is add water to the baby food maker. I use distilled water because distilled water is just better in these type of machines. It just keeps it from accumulating rust over time. So I added that in. Then I just added the top back on, and I was ready to start getting the puree blended up. So this one didn't require any steaming, of course, because it's already soft. So all I needed to do was just have it blended. And as you can see, it already was a pretty good consistency. After the first blend, I think this only took about a minute or so to get it to this consistency. And look at it, it's just so smooth, perfect for baby. You don't have to have any worries about, any chunks. So I do recommend investing in a baby food maker because it'll just make your life 10 times easier when you're ready to introduce your baby to their first foods. Now that the puree is all done and ready, I'm going to go ahead and serve it to my son. And you can see here my husband is putting him in the high chair. I really like this high chair because you don't have to have a lot of space in order to have it. It can just go right on top of the counter like we did here. And it just saves a lot of space. As my son gets bigger, I will probably invest in a actual high chair that stands on the floor. But for right now, this one is perfect. As y'all can see, he was in a really good mood this day, and I was happy because, of course, we were trying some new foods. So here I just introduced him to the avocado puree. I suctioned it to the little table so that he wouldn't be able to snatch it up, and as you can see here, he is attempting to grab it and it's not moving anywhere. All right, let's get into this first scoop. So as you can see, when I first gave him the food, he seemed to like it. He was licking his little lips. I think he was just like a little confused of what was going on. But I just thought it was super adorable. I love watching him eat. A lot of times, if y'all see in this video, I don't have a bib on him because a lot of times after he eats, he goes right in the bathtub. So sometimes I just don't even bother putting a bib on him. But we did just go ahead and do that because he had a white shirt on and I didn't want to ruin it. But yeah, I think he really did enjoy the avocado puree. I personally decided to only give him one food at a time when starting out, just to make sure he didn't have any food allergies, and if he did, I would be able to identify what food it was. The next puree I decided to prepare were the strawberries, and I chose to make strawberries one of my son's first foods because they're packed with antioxidants and vitamin C, which are great for boosting baby's immune system. I started out by rinsing the strawberries with some warm water, also some distilled vinegar, and some lime juice. By the time I ended up using these strawberries, they were a little wilted, but I didn't mind because, of course, they were just going to get blended into a puree, and I knew that it would make it easier for them to blend because they were on the softer side. I just made sure to cut off any parts that were bad, and that's what y'all see me doing here. I'm just chopping them up into smaller pieces to make it easier for them to blend, and again, just removing any parts that I feel like don't need to go into the blender. This was another puree that didn't need to be steamed. It was just able to be blended. So that was great because it didn't take me a lot of time to prepare this. I just added some extra distilled water to the blender and put it on the setting to blend. And as you can see here, just blended it very smoothly. When I make my son's purees, I try to make enough for at least a few days. They're good in the refrigerator for at least up to 3 days. And then after that, of course, they would need to be placed in the freezer. I usually take the time out about once a week and just make a few different purees that I can give him for lunch and for dinner. And that just saves me a lot of time during the week, so I can just pull them out. And then what I like to do is just use my bottle warmer and just place the glass jar in there, put it on about 6 or 7 minutes, and then it warms it up to a nice temperature for him. I would recommend, if you do warm up the puree, to make sure that it's not too hot before serving it to your baby. But yeah, this is just a wonderful way to save you a lot of time and money when preparing food for your baby. Now I'm just going to store away what I won't use that day. And again, I'll make sure I use it within 3 days. Now let's get into making the sweet potato puree. Sweet potatoes are one of the best foods for babies because they're naturally sweet and packed with nutrients. They are loaded with beta carotene, which supports healthy vision and a strong immune system. So, of course, I definitely wanted to introduce this to my son early on and just get him used to the flavor of sweet potato. The sweet potato did have to be steamed, and I think it took about 15 minutes in order to do that. After it's steamed and it got nice and soft, I was able to blend it. Again, the blending only took about 1 minute, and as you can see here, it was the perfect consistency for baby. My son was so excited to try sweet potato. As you can see here, he was just bouncing and smiling, and I was excited for him because, yes, baby, be excited to eat these healthy foods that mommy is making for you. No matter the food that you're giving them first, they're probably going to make some type of silly faces, which I love that part. But don't be alarmed or automatically assume that they don't like the food because they make a face. As you can see here, my son, he just makes faces really pretty much anything that we feed him. But now, of course, since he's older and he's gotten used to the different flavors, he is not doing that anymore. But just wanted to give that tip. Don't automatically say, oh, my baby doesn't like this, because it's probably not the case. They just need to get adjusted to trying foods. And that's it. Simple, fresh, and nutritious homemade baby food made with love for your little one. Whether it's sweet potato, strawberry, banana, or avocado, these recipes are a great way to start introducing your baby to a variety of flavors and textures. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with the other parents, and subscribe for more baby food tips and recipes. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.